Welcome to Science Inquiry 1.1. Our essential question for this lesson is, how do scientists make observations? So earlier at the beginning of class, you had an object that you were to make general observations about. So scientists use observations based on senses, and our five senses are sight. So we use our sight to make observations. So what do we see? We also use our hearing. So what do we hear? What noises, sounds, or pitches do we hear? We also use our touch. So what does the object feel like? What texture does it have? We also have taste. Hopefully you were not tasting your object, but that is one of our five senses that we can make observations with. The last one is smell. So what do we smell? What aromas are we picking up on? So what is an observation? An observation involves using senses to describe our natural world. So we're using our senses to describe the world around us, and we do this daily. Sometimes we don't even realize we're doing it. If we're talking, we are often making observations or using our senses while we speak. There are two types of observations. The first one is quantitative observation. You can see the base word in quantitative is quantity, which means number. So in our pictures here we have numbers. We also have tools. So in quantitative observations we have to have a number and a unit. So here we have 1 millimeter. So we're on a ruler looking at 1 millimeter. Here we have a scale and we're looking at the pressure. Up here we have qualitative observations. Quality is the base word of this, so it's the senses or opinions of what we observe. So quantitative measurements, they're also known as measurable. So we can measure quantitative measurements. We use tools to make observed measurements. So it's things that we can observe using tools and numbers to back us up. We use a quantity or a number amount and a unit of measurement to quantify the observation. So down below we have things like a thermometer to measure the temperature, a ruler, a scale, a stopwatch, and a measuring cup. So these are all types of quantitative observation because there is a number and a unit. Our example is the length of the pizza slice is 8 inches. As you can see, we have a number, 8, and we have a unit, inches. So just like in math class, you have to label your answers. You have units. So if we see units, that should send a little flag in your head thinking that that is quantitative observations. So I want you to take a minute and write another example of a measurable observation in your notes under letter B. For qualitative measurements, they are also known as non-measurable observations. They are observations that cannot be measured. We use tools to measure, the tools we use to measure qualitative observations are our senses and our opinions. So the tools for quantitative are things like rulers and thermometers. The tools for qualitative are our senses and opinions. So things like the way something smells or how it feels or the color. So an example would be, this brownie tastes amazing. That might be my opinion and not yours, so that's why this is a qualitative measurement. So I want you to take a minute under letter B, and write another example of qualitative observation of an object around our room. For extra practice, you can continue watching. The length of the football field. The length of the football field is 100 yards, so this is a quantitative. We have a number, 100, and a unit, yards. The weight of a bowling ball. The bowling ball weighs 15 pounds. We have a number and a unit. This would be quantitative. If I say the bowling ball is blue with purple swirls, that would be a qualitative measurement because I am using my senses and my opinions to say that this ball looks the way it does. If I were to describe the color of the sunset, that would also be qualitative. Now, I want you to observe the same object that you looked at the beginning of class to make two new quantitative observations and two new qualitative observations. For continued practice, please keep watching. The softness of a mattress. This mattress is incredibly soft. This observation is made with someone's opinion, so therefore it would be a qualitative observation. The temperature of a melting rock. The temperature of lava when on Earth's surface can be as hot as 1,600 degrees Celsius. I have a number and a unit, therefore this is a quantitative observation. The smell of apple pie. That apple pie smells amazing. I'm using one of my senses and I am using my opinion because I think it's amazing. That would be a qualitative observation. The distance I traveled in a run. I ran 4 miles yesterday. I have a number and a unit, therefore it is a quantitative observation. That's all for Science Inquiry, Lesson 1.1. Thank you for watching.